It's 6:30, so we'll start our meeting. I'd like to give a, what do we do here? Call to order with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. And even though it's cold outside, just think in 6 months it'll be summertime. At this time, we will have roll call. Paul?
Holland is absent tonight. Odie?
Yep.
Hagelin? Klatt? Schrader? Yes.
We'll ask for approval of agenda. Is there a motion?
Move to approve tonight's agenda.
Second.
There is a first and a second. All those in favor? Okay. There's no conflict of interest tonight, or conflict of interest, so we'll move to approval of the last two meetings in November, November 14th and November 1st. Does anybody have any questions or to approve them?
So moved to approve those?
Is there a second?
Second.
Been a first and a second on the approval of the minutes. So all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passed. There's no community input this evening, I see, so we will now move to financial items under bills and claims. Paul?
Okay, in your packet, if there's any questions that you guys had for me, the invoice listing, I had a few noted. If I can go through those on page 2, you'll see the check to the Brandon Valley Food Service for the web store sales. That's all the credit card sales going from the general fund into the food service fund, $156,000. Page 4, several bond payments, the Assam and High School edition, Fred Assam and High School edition of $1.3 million, and the bond payment for the Brandon Valley Intermediate School interest only of $282,000. Page 6, I noted the expense for Mac Doctors, although not huge, but it was $2,500. I'd just like to keep you guys updated on where we're at with that. We spent about $8,000 repairing the laptops so far, with a $25,000 budget for the year on the one-to-one initiative. Then on page 9, another bond payment for the Robert Bennis Elementary general obligation bonds, the interest of $42,941. That bond issue will be basically paid off in July of 2020. A small payment to be made 6 months after that of $100,000, but for the most part, it'll be paid off in July of 2020. So that's encouraging. Also, Northern Escrow, Inc., $20,000 maintenance shop payment. That's the last payment on that project, so that'll be closed out. I think Mr. Larson had a report on that later. $2,082,000 of total bills. The advance payment breakdown of $3,333 follows. $29,000 of pay vouchers. Any questions?
On page 3 of the invoice listing is the offsite data storage to Earthbend. Is that an annual payment?
It is an annual. This is the first year we've done that. Created some offsite storage. Previously, we've just been backing up within the district and found it needed to back up offsite and with all the information we're storing now, thought that was a good investment. And that was, we did an analysis of who to go with, and they're just getting into this business, Earthbend is, so as Kurt and I talked about, they kind of use us as a guinea pig, therefore greatly reduced price on the situation. But it's been working out good so far.
Okay, is there approval of bills and claims this evening?
Move to approve bills and claims?
Is there a second?
Second.
There's a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Passed. Okay, now we'll move down to the financial report.
Okay. The cash report for the month of November showed just under $3 million coming in the month of November, $6.8 million of receipts. In the body of that cash report, you'll see some transfers back and forth between funds. The capital outlay fund paid back to the general fund $934,000 of money that it borrowed for cash flow purposes, and the special education fund, $228,000 was put into that fund from the general fund to help it with the cash flow. $3.9 million of total expenses, left $5,852,000, of which $4.4 million was in the general fund, $23,000 in the capital outlay fund, $538,000 in the pension fund, $854,000 in the bond redemption fund, and $24,500 in the enterprise fund. The $6.8 million of receipts is itemized on the next two pages. The payroll and benefit summary follows that. The November payroll totaled $2,022,000, which is, if you remember, I said that a normal, quotes, an average payroll in the Brandon Valley School District would be about just over $1.7 million. Included in the November payroll is the one-time salary enhancement that you pay all the employees. Excuse me, $800 to every teacher, $600 to every year-round classified employee, $450 to every school-time classified employee, and $250 to all part-time employees. That amounts to a total of $300,000 across the district. Then with the actual financial statements through November, we're 42% of the fiscal year through. The revenue of the first two pages, I really do not have anything to note there unless somebody has a specific question on any of the revenue or expenditures as they relate to the percentages that we're showing you. Things in line with where the budgets are projected to be at. Food service statement shows a loss of $54,900 at the end of November versus a loss of $30,000 at the same time last year. The trust and agency account showed a balance of just under $202,000. Any questions on any of the reports that I presented to you guys tonight?
If there's no questions for Mr. Lundberg, I would ask that there be a motion under the financial report to approve them.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Thank you. Okay, under general business, we'll move on down, and we will start with administrative reports, and Mr. Lundberg will talk about the ADM comparison report for 15 and 16.
Okay, just real quickly, I won't spend a lot of time. It's a report we've seen for a lot of years. It's off the heels of your student achievement report. I guess this is kind of the student achievement of the business office report is what I'll equate it to. It shows what we're spending per pupil in the Brandon Valley School District as comparison to all the other school districts in the state of South Dakota. As you can see in the middle of the page, Brandon Valley ranks 145th out of 150 total school district, spends $7,149 per student. That's all the educational funds, general fund, special education fund, pension fund, all those expenses combined. The average in the state of South Dakota is $8,369, as you'll see on the bottom of that page. That's $1,220 less than we are $1,220 less than the average in the state of South Dakota, which we always are $1,000 or so less than the state average. But I always like to just point that out. That's $4.5 million that we're under the state average, if you multiply that times our enrollment. Now, the schools with enrollments over 2,000, their average per pupil expenditure is $7,680. Ours is $7,149. That's a difference of $530, which equates to about $2 million us at Brandon Valley than the average of schools over 2,000 kids, larger schools. Your immediate question or logical question would be, why do these other schools have more money than we do? It's basically two things, opt-outs and federal revenues, of which we have no opt-out and very little federal revenue. So that's the difference in the two. But I always like to point out, we do all the stuff, all the things we do is, I say, as Kellerland reported the other night with the top test scores, included with that are top salaries, and would go along with the top test scores. So we're very efficient use of our dollars that are entrusted to us, being 145th out of 150. Any questions on those numbers? Good, thank you.
Okay, Superintendent Larson, a report on the maintenance facility.
Sure, just real briefly, I just wanted to come off the heels of Business Manager Lundberg regarding the last payment for that project. So the Brandon Valley Maintenance Facility and then also the demolition done at the Brandon Elementary is completed. Just wanted to bring you up to speed on exactly where that ended up being. The original contract sum was approximately $780,000. Net change orders just over 5,000 for a total contract sum of 785. That's less than a 1% change from the original budgeted items, so phenomenal work done by Business Manager Lundberg and also Ty Henschel with the management of the finances on that project. So there are just a couple of photos there. If anyone has any interest in never touring that, feel free to let us know. It's been a fantastic upgrade for our maintenance, our buildings and grounds and maintenance folks, and much needed space. The project overall was a success. Timeline got a little extended on us and we ran into a few challenges, but we were able to overcome those and put together a good product. So I would certainly entertain any questions you have, but project is complete, looks good.
If no questions, we'll move on. Under administrative reports, Dr. Tilcott is not here. Mr. Schleckway. Mr. Thorson? Thank you, Mr. Thorson. Intermediate school, Mr. Skipstead. Special ed services, Mr. Babb.
Just a couple of things.
Okay.
Do you think uploading documents was easier for you or more time-consuming? I mean, how do you compare the two processes?
Thank you. Elementary buildings, Ms. Foster. Mrs. Hayden. Mr. Horst. Mrs. Palmer. Okay, then we'll move down to Director of Instruction, Ms. Stadler. Okay. Operations Manager, Ty Hansel. No. Randy Marshall.
Thanks.
All right, we're moving on. There's nothing under board policy this evening. We will go down to general business under consent approval, 1 through 4. Are there any questions?
Move to approve consent items 1 through 4 under general business.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All those,
Hang on, do I abstain? Do I have to abstain?
So may I change my motion? I would move to approve items 1, 2, and 4 under general business. We can just do a roll call on the, because you don't have to abstain from all of them, right?
Second on 1, 2, and 4.
all those in favor of 1, 2, and 4, say aye. All those opposed? Okay. Now we'll go to 3. We'll have roll call on that one.
So I'll move to approve item number 3 under general business.
Second.
There's been a first and a second. All roll call vote on this one.
Hagelin. Yes. Schrader.
Yes.
Klatt. Odie.
Motion carries. Move down to personnel. Under consent approvals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7.
Move to approve personnel items 1 through 7.
Or 8. Sorry, I didn't see.
Sorry, I didn't scroll down either. 1 through 8. I move to approve personnel items 1 through 8.
Is there a second?
Second.
There's been first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. All those both okay, passes. Under communication, there's a few board reports, and now we'll go on to board reports. Does anybody have any special board reports they'd like to share this evening?
Really
Sandy?
quickly, I attended the ASB SD Delegate Assembly last Wednesday in Pierre. There wasn't a lot of controversy, except perhaps the Sioux Falls School District sought amendments on several rationale statements. At the end of the day, it doesn't wholly matter if you amend a rationale statement, because the actual resolution is what Dr. Pogany would use to draft actual legislation. So we probably don't need to go over any of those amendments. They mostly passed, except for the one that I testified against to pass. That one did not pass. And then the focus will be on opposing, last year it was called Senate Bill 159. That was passed, so we need to refer to it as South Dakota Codified Law 13-65, and that's the scholarship bill, or the scholarship law now, whereas insurance companies can anonymously donate money to fund private school scholarships. And of course, public schools are against that because that takes money out of the general coffers, and when we take money out of the coffers, it's less for all of us public schools. So we would oppose that, and Wade will be working pretty hard in opposition to that passed law. And since that law has created a lot of question out there, I'm just not sure what the directionality of the legislature will be, but hopefully there'll be some, maybe they'll repeal that law or at least amend it to make it more fair. We also looked at school funding. We talked about this beforehand, that most schools in South Dakota would rather use a 2-year enrollment averaging than the current report of just this year's number of students. And so we did change the verbiage a little bit, that ASBSD supports reinstating a 2-year enrollment averaging or current enrollment, whichever is larger, in place of the fall enrollment count for the stated formulation. So it was a good amendment to add or current enrollment, whichever is larger, because of course you want to use the biggest number possible. So that will be another focus, and then just in general, school funding will continue to be a focus, because we just don't know what the legislature is going to do with the half-cent sales tax. There are enough people out there to repeal it, or what. We sure hope not. We sure hope that that gets to stay, but those will be kind of the main focuses of ASBSD, who lobbies the legislature on behalf of all member school boards in South Dakota. And then the legislature is also lobbied by the large schools lobbyist, and that's a membership that is paid for. So even if you're a small school and you pay to be part of a large schools group, you can be part of that group and have a very effective lobbyist going to bat for you. So we do have I think that we have two very effective lobbyists in Pierre during the legislative season, and as we just voted earlier on your appointment of me to your Legislative Action Network, I do spend a lot of time during the session reviewing all the bills that impact school districts, and I also, when needed, spend a lot of time contacting legislators, not just ours, but sometimes statewide, with the message that ASBSD typically helps us with. And then sometimes, you go to social media to get more people involved and help with that. And so as the session progresses this year, I'll help keep you, I'm sure Dr. Larson will help me too, we'll keep you updated on status of bills that are coming through that will impact us. That's all.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Klatt. Is there anybody else that have to share any information tonight? Okay. There's just some travel reports, and I guess I'd ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
There's been first and second. All those in favor? Motion passed. Good night, everybody.